Hi guys, welcome to Chakra Sessions. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, and I am welcoming you on this day before the 4th of July. Hi Rob, glad to see you. I'm glad you're going to be listening in the archives. That's perfect. So this is a day about independence. Um, it's pretty funny how that can happen. We get to the 4th of July here in the United States and we think about independence. And the reality is that, we all have this inner need to have freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of having the ability to say what we need to say, to own our own truth. And so when I was looking at that for my Star Nations article that will be coming out in July, I was tapping into the energy of independence, like where it resides in our body and why is it such a visceral need for all of us. It doesn't matter where you come from. We all have this energetic need for independence. So hi guys, glad to see you. Hi Jill. Hi, Kathleen. And of course, hi, Neshi. I'm glad to see you guys all in the house. So this is, for me, it's an interesting subject because last year with my second year students at Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing, we were working on the energy of codependence. And we all have codependence. We need other people. We need someone to grow food for us so that we can buy it at the store. We have, a need for the electric company to provide electricity so that we can have lights and heat in our homes. So we are built on a system of depending upon each other. And at the same time, we want to be our own spirit, our own self. And when other people try to control how we think, how we act, how we are meant to behave, we get a little prickly and a little rebellious. And that can be as big as the American Revolution, or it can be as little as you standing up to, your parent and saying, no, I won't be treated like that any longer. So the energy of independence is really built into our wiring because we have a strong sense of that. It does not appear to be as strong. I'm not going to say it's not there for other species, but it is not as strong for some of the animals and things. But think about it, they are independent. Nobody's telling them what to do unless they're in a zoo. And we all see how miserable that existence can be, especially for the animals that have been in the wild previously. I know it is done sometimes in protection to keep them safe, but it's hard to imagine how you would feel if you had to be kept in a cage for your safety. And part of this is coming up energetically in the United States, especially because we're going through some of the energy around immigration laws and what's been happening with the children and things at the border. So our energy of, what's right and what's not right may be getting triggered. And we all have that, as I said. So I was looking at it from a chakra standpoint from my article, and I was really tapping into it, which was, I had never really looked at that in particular. So, so Jill is saying, amazing, this is right in my face today. Yeah, like I think we all have days where, we need to use our voice and we get kind of a knot in our stomach and we have this sense of, I've got to do the right thing, or I want to do the right thing, or I need to speak up. So one of the things that happens when we are in a codependent relationship whether it's with a person or our society or our culture or our church, we often start to feel our throat chakra close. When we aren't allowed to say what we truly believe, or if we aren't allowed to express all the little nuances of what we believe in, what our truth is, if somebody else's truth is different from ours and we have to squash ours, we start to close our throat chakra down, and that is really detrimental to our well-being. And that, think about the fact that, with our founding fathers, people got upset because they didn't think it was right to be taxed on things. And they felt like they should have a say in what was going on, because they're the ones who came here to colonize, and they thought they needed a voice, And then, there are many aspects of that, because then we in turn shut down the voice of the natives who are living here already. But that's a different story at the moment. So this is just about where the energy of independence is, and it's it begins shutting down in the throat chakra. So here's Neshi reminding me. Make sure that you guys help us out by liking or loving and sharing the show, commenting in the feed, the news feed, because that helps us with the Facebook algorithms. It helps us to get out there to other people who might need this information. They might need the healing that's going on, and maybe they've got to learn to use their own voice in their own lives right now, because maybe that is giving them some difficulty. So if you could do that to help out, that would be great, because that's how we get out there. Hello, Abby. Nice to see you. Hi, Karen. Good to see you too. Woohoo! Got some students in the house. Some of my Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing, my third-year students actually, are in the house today as well. So this is all about independence. And as we are going through finding who we are, because that's part of the reason we watch these shows, we're trying to tap into how to change our life and how to be more who we feel we are deep down inside. So to tap into that, we've got to be able to speak our truth, and do it in a way that others can hear it and receive it. When we do it from a place of reaction or judgment, somebody else's throat is going to close down in response to that, and they're not going to hear you. And not always when we speak our truth do we get heard. But if we do it over and over again, then, it's hard to ignore on the other end. The other thing that happens energetically with our independence is we want to be in the energy of our heart. Our heart is where we feel peaceful, we feel calm, we feel love for one another, and we want everyone in that space to be treated equally and the same. But if you're not in the heart energy, you are unable to take someone else's perspective. You're unable to really hear what anybody else is saying because your ego is talking too loud. So you're unable to hear. And so when we need to speak our truth, it's important that we're holding our heart energy wide open. Then we get to, people just sort of understand that for us, we're speaking from our heart. We're speaking from a place of love and compassion. And it's much easier to hear someone who's speaking from that place when they're speaking from their passion. It doesn't matter if we are, standing up for something. it's still going to happen. So if you think of some of the great leaders, I think about, Martin Luther King. He might have been angry, right? Because there are a number of people who were angry at the injustice, but he found a way to use his voice over and over again to create change. And it's change we're still working on, but he started the ball rolling for a number of us. And so most of the greatest movements happen when there's a really strong speaker who's speaking their truth and speaking a truth that is in alignment with other people's truth. And that's kind of how we came to having independence from England, as it were. But we just spoke up, and we're at a time right now where this is really getting dinged. Because there are a number of things that are occurring here in the United States that isn't in alignment with everyone's truth. So if we don't believe that something should be going on, it's really difficult to not gather our voices and speak up. Though we have been silent about certain things. We might be complaining, to our friends or something like that. But as a collective, it's time for us to sort of use the group voice of truth to be heard. And many people are feeling that angst right now, and probably have been for the past couple of years. So really, when you're out of alignment energetically with who you are, then your whole body starts to react and want to be free of that energy. There is a spot in our body that holds the righteous anger. And in that place, we're meant to use it as fire or fuel to be and do the right thing. To help other people, to be in service, to stand up and be the voice when someone else can't speak for themselves. And so those are all locations, believe it or not, that are in your energy body that when you want to dig deep and find a way to speak for, something different than what is being sort of pressed upon you, a way to behave, a way to act, a way to think. You kind of dig deep and you reach into those pockets of energy and use them to be able to sort of gather the energy of independence, separation from those who don't think and believe the same way that you do. And the other thing that, gets triggered in this energetically is your third eye. And because the third eye is, your intuition, it's your perception. And if it's not in alignment with your perception, then, it starts to cause confusion. It might even cause you a headache if it's really out of alignment. And that's because it's not clear thinking. When we're not having clear thinking, then it doesn't make sense. And it's really hard for our energy body to deal with this. So hi, Christine. I'm glad you're joining us. We're talking about the energy of independence today. And Abigail is saying, my life makes so much sense now. Yes, when you become a mom, things just start to fall into alignment. But also you get a new perspective, right, on your parents. Being a parent, you start to have a different perception of your parents. You're no longer dependent upon them. And sometimes that goes well and sometimes that does not go well. Since you are newly married and a new mom, those are both independent decisions that you made that changed your relationship with your parents. And this is true for all of us. As we make steps into our own lives and our own dependence, we start to question, some of the beliefs that maybe we were brought up with. Maybe we're fully in alignment with them and they work for us, but maybe there's a few things that just don't sit quite right. And you have to deal with a shift in perception. And that is, whether you're going to just continue to believe that, or whether you're going to be in alignment with your soul and what your soul believes. And when we are in alignment with our soul, we are more uniquely who we are. So we have a sense of independence, even though at the same time we're part of a collective, and we are very interdependent all the time. So hi, Kimberly. She's another new mom. So this is really a time of us exploring, what it means to be independent in our hearts and in our souls. That's what kind of comes up for us here in the United States on July 4th. We start to think about what it means to be free, and free from society, free from other countries, being an independent nation. Though some of us would question whether that were really true, because we've created some dependency with other nations and ourselves. And that's how things are, because we are all interconnected. We are all one in humanity. So you can't completely separate, but you can choose to be your own being. And when we look at the energy of that within our chakra system, there are certain chakras that are utilized for that. And they're in the upper chakras because they're more connected with our higher self than with our survival body. Because in survival mode, we tend to cling together, and we tend to hoard our resources. We hold on to things because we're afraid of losing them. We don't ever feel like there's enough. So how could you actually share with another? And when we're in that kind of energy, you can't, like I said earlier, you can't hold the perspective of somebody else. You actually don't even necessarily feel like they're a person, because only you matter in those moments. And so that's what we're going through the growing pains of right now, is that there are a number of people on the planet who are still holding on to survival energy, and they're scared and they're fearful. And so they're clinging very dearly to the old ways and the old behaviors, and they're holding on and hoarding the resources, their money, the food, you name it, they're holding on to it tight, and not sharing. So if you think about, a kindergarten classroom, right? They're the kid who's holding on to the toy and they won't play with anyone else. And they can't imagine in that energy that somebody else should get to have the toy, or should get a chance to play with the toy as well. And that's really what we're dealing with energetically. And for those of us who can't even comprehend that, that's because we may be operating more in our heart chakra energy, a little more from a higher perspective. And we have this innate knowing that if we all just group together and work together, there would be no need for the fighting, and there'd be no need for people to not have food or shelter, because as a community, we could gather together and make that happen, because there's enough to go around and then some. So as we're doing the energy healing later today, actually in a few minutes, as we do that healing, we're going to be looking for where the energy of independence is located within our energy body, and to see what might be blocking us from speaking our authentic truth or being in our integrity, because that is part of what's going on here, right? Is that when you're in your survival body, you'll lie, steal, and cheat, right? Because you're just doing what you need to get by. But for those of us who aren't in that energy, things like integrity and honesty and truth are really what we are looking for in ourselves first, and how to do that consistently and fully. But we're also looking for it in our leaders and in our community. And when we aren't finding that, then often we start to find a new community, which is difficult when, some of the energy is within your country, because you might not want to pack up and move because, the reverberations go across the globe at this point. It's not just that it's centered here in the United States, though we get a little egocentric here in the United States about, we're the only ones on the planet, and we have to do everything, rescue everyone, and, and everything's being done to us kind of thing, which is all what happens when we're in survival mode. And we've been having some energetic growing pains, which showed up in the last couple of elections, that people wanted somebody with a voice, and that spoke for the majority of us. So this is sort of a time when we're reigniting and reinvestigating our independence here in the United States, and it gets triggered on the 4th of July because for some of us, it's not just about picnics and barbecues, though that's awesome. It's an awesome side effect, or fireworks. But it is like, how did we get here? And what do we need to grow more? Are we still in alignment with equality and the things, the values that were passed down, the intention that was created when this nation was created? There are some very strong intentions that were set in the Declaration of Independence. And so are we still in alignment with those intentions? And that's what's coming up for some of us. Phew! A little bit of a heavy subject, I guess. My guides were a little rambunctious when it came to this one. So as we do our clearing meditation, you're going to want to be comfortable, and just know that I am going to be making clearing noises. They may sound like burps or squawks. It may even sound like native talking. It's some sort of ancient talking that has been coming through in the clearing process. Not as much in this show, but it definitely showed up last week in the Soul Connection show. So you may hear that, and that's all my way of clearing the energy of the entire group, whether you are here in live or whether you are watching this later. The energy is still being cleared and the vibration is being sent out into whoever needs it and whoever watches this, which I think is really a cool way for spirit to be able to work on a bigger scale, at least for me, and help me be in alignment with my life purpose, which is to heal the healers out there, so you guys can get to work and do what you are meant to do, to be a healing force here on the planet. So, yeah, I'm going to invite you guys to get comfy. If you're sitting, you might want to make sure that your arms and your legs are uncrossed. That way you don't short circuit any energy. You don't want to block any flow from coming through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to call in the divine energy however you perceived it. To come in to help us with our healing this afternoon, this day, this evening, whenever we watch this.
Yeah.
And we're going to set a sacred space. So as we set the sacred space, we ask that the divine surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light.
Yeah.
And if you need a second bubble to surround and protect your room or the building or the space that you're in, feel free to ask for that second bubble as well.
Yeah.
We want you to be comfortable and give this time to yourself.
Yeah.
And we invite in our spiritual team, our angels, our guides, our ancestors,
Yeah.
the ascended masters, our master teachers, the star beings, the gods or goddesses from ancient times.
Yeah.
All divine beings of the highest, fullest, brightest vibration available to us in this moment of now.
Yeah.
And as always, we set the intention that this healing is for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now begin to invite the divine energy to come through at the crown, the top of your head, to begin to clear any energy that is blocking you from connecting to your higher self, to your true essence, and to the divine.
Yeah.
As it begins to come in through your crown, into your third eye, into your brain, just begin to allow the energy to clear any distracted thoughts, ideas, beliefs, or patterns that may be swimming around
Yeah.
in your brain. Any thoughts or ideas that are stuck in the past, worrying about what was
Yeah.
or how it could have been done differently.
Yeah.
And any energy that is worried about things in the future, what you might need to do or what's supposed to happen. Just call all your energy back into this moment of now. Being really present in your body, the weight of it on your chair, on the floor, on the bed. Feeling gravity pressing down upon you. So that you're fully in this moment of healing for yourself.
Yeah.
And taking a moment to release any thoughts, ideas, beliefs, or patterns that were created by others that no longer fit who you are or who you are meant to be. Just allow that energy to begin to dissolve. Taking off the pressure of conforming to someone else's ideals or expectations. And just gently allowing the energy to shift into a state of self-acceptance. You are you, not someone else's version of you, but you.
Yeah.
And beginning to clear the energy in your ears
Yeah.
so that you can be heard when you speak. And so that you may hear clearly what others are saying. So that in this state of independence, you are able to hear and be heard
Yeah.
with clarity, with compassion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are also able to connect to all members of your spiritual team and the messages they may be sending to you in each and every moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
More aware of the energy coming from the divine in all of its forms. And opening up the energy in your throat. And clearing away all the lies that you have spoken or lies that others have spoken to you that you have held onto as truth or that they have held onto as truth. And really clearing away the clutter so that it is more comfortable more in alignment
Yeah.
for you to simply speak your truth kindly and succinctly. Releasing any judgment or blame energy. That may be blocking truth from being spoken. Or any guilt.
Yeah.
And releasing the energy in the back of the neck. And maybe holding on to stress, anxiety, tension, any energy that is not in alignment for you.
yeah,
in the muscles in the neck and on the tops of the shoulders, really releasing the burdens, the responsibilities that you are carrying for others, for yourselves,
yeah,
but in a way that may be out of alignment
yeah,
with who you truly are.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And allowing the energy to begin to move into your shoulders and your lungs and your heart.
yeah,
Accessing your inner spot of integrity.
yeah, 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 yeah,
The part of you that carries your honest wisdom,
yeah, yeah,
for you to access and for you to share with others.
yeah,
And the energy in the back of the spine,
yeah,
that you may be feeling unsupported by others,
yeah,
or have been in a position where you are giving way more than you are receiving,
yeah, yeah,
which also brings our independence out of alignment with ourselves and with others.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And opening the connection to our inner spiritual team, our inner child, our inner adult, our inner warrior, and our inner sage, who in truth and in fullness reside within our heart,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
free from any interference from others, free from our inner critic,
yeah,
so that we're in a state where we can take action when needed, but are not sitting in a state of reaction, reacting to other people, to your environment, but simply in a state of awareness.
yeah, yeah,
Releasing any grief, any sadness or disappointment that you've had for yourself or others in their actions or their reactions, your actions or reactions.
God. God.
Giving the inner child room to speak and play and be filled with wonder
God.
as the true divine being that you are and have always been.
God. 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 God.
And moving into your belly, clearing any of the old judgment that you're holding on to, judging others for their behaviors, their actions, their ideas, their beliefs.
God. 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 God.
And releasing any energy of others judging you for the same thing.
God. 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 God.
Releasing any resentment you may be holding on to because of that, any anger, or even any fear.
God.
Really releasing any fear around you being able to speak your truth.
God. God.
And any energy that is squeezing your self-perception, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence.
God. God. God.
Allowing your inner sense of self to stretch and grow
God.
more fully in alignment
God.
with your heart and your truth.
God. 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 Right. Get. God.
And moving the energy down into your second chakra, right below the belly button, and clearing any codependent relationships that are out of balance, out of harmony.
God. God.
Returning them to a state of ebb and flow, give and take.
Right. God. Yes. God. You're not. God.
And releasing any old hurt, any old disappointment, even abuse
God.
that you may be holding on to. You do not have to forget the event, but you do not have to hold on to the anger attached to the event.
Right. H. No, no, no. Banani. Rồi. Rồi sky. Rồi làm. God.
And moving down into your first chakra in near your tailbone and through your hips, really clearing any energy where it does not feel safe to speak and be in your truth, in your integrity. Any feeling of insecurity,
Yeah.
any tribal energy that you may be holding on to that is not in alignment with who you are any longer or who you are meant to be.
Rồi là lalamay. Rồi siya. Sky. Rồi.
Allowing that energy to move down your legs so that it takes root. So, as it is clearing the old energy of fear that may be contained within your energy system, within your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, or your spiritual body, just allowing the energy to move down and reconnect fully
Rồi.
to Grandmother Earth, allowing her to cleanse and clear and compost all that you are willing to release. For in our release, we make space for new energy for ourselves and new energy for the entire earth plane.
Rồi nó mày. Yeah.
And allow that energy to connect deep through all the layers of the earth. Whether you imagine your connection as giant roots or a cord connecting you from your first chakra or even your heart all the way down through the layers of the earth. Connecting down into the center.
Rồi nó mày. Yeah. Sky. Yeah.
And now connecting to the energy at the center of the earth, the heartbeat of the grandmother, the original creation energy. Allow that energy to come up through your roots and through your cord and begin to fill those spots where you released energy.
Yeah.
And as you feel the energy fill, know that you are fully supported in your physical, in your spiritual, your divine feminine and masculine energy. Bringing that and restoring that energy back to balance as well so that you may hold a sense of independence within you while in full connection with the divine as you perceive it.
Rồi. Sky.
And allowing that energy to move up the legs and the hips and the low back, filling your lower belly.
Rồi. Sky. Rồi chạm. Rồi.
Moving up through all of your organs so that they may run more easily, more in harmony with your body.
Rồi nó mày. Rồi. Rồi.
And allowing that to move up through into your heart, into your lungs, into your back, your spine. And as it moves into your heart, really allowing that to radiate out, stretching your heart to hold even more love and compassion, and allowing that energy to trickle down your arms and your shoulders into your hands, so that everything that you touch will carry this healing energy.
And going out of my rồi đó
And then allowing it to fill in your throat, supporting and loving your authentic truth, your expression of you in all of its shades and colors and vibrations.
rồi nó mày rồi nó để
And moving up through the top of your head, clearing and filling your intuition, your connections to your guides, your ancestors, allowing that energy to trickle down over your aura, filling in all the nooks and crannies, any places where the aura is torn or has holes, or it's disconnected, filling and repairing that personal bubble that you have so strongly connected to your immune system, making sure that it is being sealed in all directions, above you, below you, in front of you, behind you, and on either side of you.
rồi đó
And just take a moment to send healing out to those who are praying for healing, guidance, assistance.
đó
And sending out energy of clear thinking and clear being to all those willing to receive, for the good of all and harm to none.
rồi nó để ai để cả nó đó đó
And take a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team for guiding you and assisting you in this moment and each moment.
đó
And then begin to come back to your physical body. Feel the weight of your body connected to the chair, to the floor, to the bed. Feel the fabric of the clothes on your body. Any noises in the background, like fans or air conditioners, or even my voice.
yeah.
Any smells that may surround you. Feel the weight of your muscles on your bones. And when you are ready, you may gently dissolve your meditation and come back to this moment. Welcome back. So this healing was looking at the ways that we each block our sense of independence, our higher self, the part of ourselves that is able to have higher thinking, where we are able to have empathy and compassion for others and want to take action for them and for ourselves.
Yeah.
So, if this was something, oh, thank you guys. Hi, Susan. And Jim says, I wish more people tuned into this presentation. It is so beneficial for everyone. Yep. So, and Christine said, thank you. It was exactly what I needed. So, this is another reminder, like and share this broadcast, and put a little post attached to it. That if you're looking for healing for society, for what's going on the planet, check out this meditation, because this might help you and others around you. Because we can each do our part, right? If we are each able to guide one person to a fuller sense of who they are, then we are able to expand the amount of people who are out there in awareness. Because the way my spiritual team shows it to me is that there are people who are walking around in a dream state, basically. That's why they feel like zombies. When you go to the store and people just don't even, they're driving a car and they almost hit someone because they don't even see them, or they hit somebody else with their grocery cart. They're just unaware of anyone and their surroundings. That's when we're not here in our physical realm and we're not here present in an aware state. And there's a lot of people out there who could use it. So if you could like and share the broadcast, maybe we'll reach one more person who could use the healing and who could use some insight. And thank you, Neshi. So this is how to reach me at trinityhealingsanctuaries.com. This is, I do distance healings, and I do healings in person, as well as channel healing remedies for different things that are going on. And it's interesting because really the energy of independence is being fully in alignment with who you are. And so the oil that is perfect for that is the chakra balance. Because when our chakras are balanced, then we are able to really connect with who we are. And when they're not, then we may be in sort of our survival mode, which is not a bad thing, because there are times when we need our survival mode to help us to remember to eat and to drink and to stay safe when things are dangerous. But we don't necessarily need that to rule our life 24/7. And that's what we've been running into. And if you're interested in my article that's going to be coming up in the July magazine around the energy of independence, it'll be out for publication on July 10th. This is where you can find it at starnations.org, Star Nations Magazine, purchase Star Nations Magazine. And you can get it in digital format, or, if you're like me and like the old hard copy, you can get that there as well. Because I think this is how the planet is trying to shift. And if we could each shift within ourselves, then we can, sort of radiate that behavior for other people. So for those of you who, enjoy healing and receiving meditation, you can join me again tomorrow night. I know it's the 4th of July, but what better thing to do on Independence Day than to heal the planet by healing ourselves? So you can join me at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Soul Connections if you would like. And we will do a healing meditation as well as a card draw. And with that, you guys, I look forward to seeing you next week, and have a beautiful 4th of July. And we will talk next time. Bye.